and welcome back to Slushie Review. This is Keith.
And Chris.
And did you say that, Chris?
I think I started to.
I like it. I like it.
Can I redo that? I don't.
Do you want it?
No, I don't care.
All right, let's not. I like it. That Chris on the cast. I love it. Today this is gonna be off the rails. I can tell. Today we are going to review a cult classic, Starship Troopers.
You know, I've spent some time in a cult in the past. You have a lot of fun as a member.
What?
Make a lot more money as a leader.
Factual. Starship Troopers, a movie made in 1997, I think it said, or 8.
Really?
No, 95. 97, yeah. And just a cult classic.
I don't know what year I thought it was made in.
Yeah, because it was some years ago. But either way, I mean, we're going to do that. We decided to do this because I told Chris about this movie. I'm not going to lie to you guys.
97.
I love Starship Troopers. You will get nothing but glorious praise from this man. Just like I do with every movie I ever love. I caught it in the middle, and I probably didn't see the first beginning of the movie for the first 3 times I watched it. So it happened with Scott Pilgrim, and it happened with this. And I don't remember the whole beginning. Didn't see it until I don't know how much longer. I didn't even know he had parents.
Oh, that's wacky because fucking you wouldn't have even seen Neil Patrick Harris until the end of the movie then.
Yeah, basically.
But like when he comes back
Yeah.
and he looks like fucking M. Bison.
Yes.
And then at the very end of the movie.
Yes.
Huh.
Yep. I was like, he's in it? Oh, that's crazy.
Doogie's in it.
Yes, absolutely. And I was always like, why is Denise Richards looking at this guy who has a girlfriend? I don't get it. Like, I don't get it. She's walking around thinking she's a perfect 40. No dice. Either way, let's get right into it. Thank you for listening. We definitely appreciate it. Make sure you follow us at Slushie Review on Twitter at Slushie Review. You can also check us out on YouTube. Just search Slushie Review. We pop up. We're the first result. And then check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. And also, coming soon, Instagram. Follow us on IG.
The gram.
At Slushie Review Podcast.
Yes.
We just started it. Need some followers. Need some likes. Okay, let's go with Chris for the plot.
Okay. I feel like there's not really much of one here. Bugs from space
simple.
are attacking Earth with meteors that carry their species
Spores
to Earth, and or they just fucking drop meteors on South
Yeah,
America.
to be fair, she said that, but I don't think that was what they did the first time.
Okay.
I think she was saying they can do that because they're intelligent and we think they're not intelligent, we being the people. She was like, yeah, but they can also populate without traveling.
With the spores.
Yeah, with the spores.
Or they just drop a fucking meteor on Earth.
Or they dropped the meteor on Earth and killed 12 million goddamn people. Actually, it's more than that, but yeah.
Okay, so Earth is under attack by, they just call them bugs, or insects, or arachnids. Space bug monster aliens that hate people and want us dead. And Earth... I don't know, Earth / North America / South America decides, we ain't taking that shit anymore. We're going to take it to them. And they develop a space force way before someone had the idea for it.
Way before the TV show.
And they decide we're going to go kick their asses on their home planets. Because it's like a system.
Just one planet.
Okay.
It's just one planet.
So they're going to go there and they're going to... Oh.
I'm sorry. I was going to say there's one planet, but they're in a different galaxy.
Yeah.
That's why when the meteor comes, it comes from out of nowhere. They have to go into like light speed or hyperspeed to get there.
Because there's the planet has an asteroid belt around it or near it that they can just send the shit.
They're like, hey. Which is crazy.
So Earth has the fleet, the military, the space military seems to be, as far as I could tell from this movie, divided up into the fleet that flies the ships, that gets the, what do they call them? Something infantry?
The infantry, basically.
I forget what they call it.
Yeah, military infantry.
Yeah, so like the people that fly the ships, that take the infantry to the planets, and the infantry that gets boots on the ground on the planets and shoots at the shit directly, while the fleet hovers above the planet and gets shot out of the fucking sky. So our dude Rico, I can't even remember his first name. I feel like a piece of shit.
Doesn't matter. I only call him Rico.
Okay,
but
so
his name
Rico,
is Johnny.
That's right. Johnny Rico. Johnny Rico is, from all accounts, from a wealthy family in South America, and he's in college with his buddies, and his best girl is joining the space military, and he's like, oh, well, I've led a very sheltered life, and I'm in love with this person. I'm going to stick with them. I'm going to join the military too. And his parents are like, nah, that's a dumb idea. You're dumb. Quit being dumb. If you want to join the military, you're cut off. I think I still want to join the military. All right, you're cut off. So they cut him off. He joins the military. Doesn't go great. He gets into training. It goes okay. Actually, it goes okay at first. And then he gets somebody killed.
He does pretty good.
He does pretty good. And then he causes someone to die in a training exercise. And suddenly all the confidence that was instilled in him by his teacher is shot. And he's like, all right, well, I'm really going to quit. After all the shit that I've been through, I'm really going to quit because I caused a man to die, and I'm shaking to my core. Just as he's about to walk out, the war hits home, literally, when his home continent gets hit by a fucking bug meteor. And everyone's like, well, we'll take anybody, literally warm bodies. Because he was like, oh, well, actually, no. He's like, yo, I want to keep fighting. They're like, no, you quit. And he's like, oh, well, now I don't want to. Well, all right. Give him a gun. And he gets right back into the shit. And they ship out, and they go to the bug planet. And him and his buddies start killing bugs. And people are just getting... These things are fucking slaughtering people.
Oh, yeah.
Because for all intents and purposes, the first several encounters with these bugs... They are like unloading a full clip of ammo, it seems, into these things, and they're not going down. And by the end of the movie, like 4 of them are just mowing down like 30, 40, 50 of these things in a little tunnel. So who's to say? But it's a war movie, so you see some people die. You see some people make surprise appearances. Some people have robot appendages because it's in the future. There's ships, there's lasers, only for training. There's regular bullet guns and space grenades and all kinds of shit. And it's human versus bug warfare. It reminds me of a video game called Earth Defense Force I used to play with my brother. It was literally people with guns shooting alien bugs.
Easy.
So, surprised no one came after him for it, honestly. But Rico ends up joining this group of roughnecks, and then ends up eventually taking command of the group of roughnecks, gets some shit done, and by the end of the movie, humanity has like a chance, has a foothold. They have something they can use in their warfare against the bugs. That's the plot. I'm sure we'll cover the stuff in between.
I will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the plot. I'm going to throw it over to Keith for the young cast.
Yeah. Okay. The cast. Oh, man. The cast. There's a lot of people in this movie, actually. A lot of people who are kind of familiar. Some people who aren't, but then they are. First up, we have Johnny Rico. He's played by Casper Van Dien. Fun fact, he was in Sleepy Hollow, which I've seen, and it's a great movie. And I forgot he was in that. He also does voiceover in some Marvel cartoon. Oh. Sorry, X-Men cartoon. I don't remember which one. And he voiced Cyclops, and it fits. And another to note, he is like the grandson of Robert Mitchum, which is some legendary actor.
Okay. I know the name.
He lived on, when he was younger, he lived on Van Dien Road or Avenue, which was his last name, which was named after a relative. So him and Johnny Rico aren't too far apart, if I must say so myself. But either way. Next up, we have Dina Meyer, Dizzy Flores. She's in love with Johnny Rico, but can't have him. I know her from Saw. I don't really know her from anything else but Saw. She was great in Saw, and I loved her. She was in Johnny Mnemonic. You ever seen Johnny Mnemonic?
Mm-mm.
It's an older show.
She's in American Horror Story. I might see her sometime because I've been watching that lately.
Oh, have you? Nice. Yeah, you can't be sure. But either way, next up, Denise Richards. If you know Denise Richards, she used to be married to Charlie Sheen. She was also in something. Well, she was in. Oh, I didn't know she was in The World Is Not Enough. I knew her from The Wild Things when she made out with Neve Campbell. That was like a whole thing. I didn't actually care for it, but whatever. I really just knew her from marrying Charlie Sheen, which I guess sucks to be known for that. But I mean, not because of Charlie Sheen, but to be like, hey, I'm an actress. Oh, you're married to Charlie Sheen. Like, that's all I know.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know anything else. You know what I mean? Like, that could just be me. People may know her from other stuff. Next up, my guy, Jake Busey. That's my guy, man.
Your guy.
Little Gary Busey's son. Loved him. He's amazing. He was Johnny Bartlett in The Frighteners, which is an amazing movie. It's just such a good movie. He was a serial killer in that movie.
Oh.
And he dies, and he comes back to life as a ghost. And the only person who can see the ghost in that movie, Michael J. Fox. Yep, because you got to have a near-death experience to see the ghost. And he was still killing people because he wanted to hit Manson or somebody's record.
Huh.
So he would carve the number that person died. Like
Busey was.
Yeah.
Okay.
He would carve the number into their forehead when they died.
Ooh.
And so, yeah. Great movie. Great movie. I would tell everybody to go see it. Chi McBride is in that movie. But either way. Next up, Neil Patrick Harris. He gets second billing, as he should. No, I'm just playing. I like Neil Patrick Harris. Neil Patrick Harris, if you don't know, is from a little show, very popular show, called Doogie Howser. And that's the only thing I remember him from because I haven't seen anything else. How about that? But he was also in How I Met Your Mother for 10 years. There's that. He was also Lemony Snicket in the TV show series. Have you ever seen that show?
On Netflix?
Yeah.
I have not watched
Have you ever seen the movie?
I also did not, because wasn't Jim Carrey in the movie?
Yeah, he was in the movie. And then, yeah. I never really watched any of those.
Same.
I don't think they're interesting. But that's me. Either way. Clancy Brown, Sergeant Zim. He was in Shawshank Redemption. He was also in Thor Ragnarok as Surtur.
Yep.
He was Mr. Krabs in the SpongeBob movie. You say you watched Dexter, right? Did you tell me that?
I did not actually watch that.
Oh, and that's the remake. So, but you did watch DuckTales.
Yes.
The new one.
Yes.
He's Frankenstein.
I don't remember
Yeah.
him in that episode, or I'm guessing it's probably one or two episodes.
Can't be sure. He was in The Mandalorian. I don't remember who he was in.
I don't remember the character based on the name at least.
He does a lot of voice work though.
He's been in a lot of stuff.
He's been in a lot of stuff. I've seen him before. Oh, the Red Hawk, nice. Yeah.
He's in Adventure Brothers, nice.
Yeah, I would say I don't remember him in a lot of stuff. I do, but I don't. Oh, he was in The Punisher, the show.
Oh.
Major.
He's in Ninja Turtles. He's Razar. Okay.
Yeah, so a lot of stuff. Good for him. Next up, Seth Gilliam. He was Sugar Watkins. I didn't know his first name. Now I do. They just called him Watkins. But he was in The Walking Dead. He was Gabriel Stokes. I didn't watch it, so I don't know who he was.
I don't remember his character. Oh, wait, no. Yeah.
What's that? You do or you don't?
Oh, man.
You were like, wait, no, and then nothing. Nope. Okay. You got so excited, then nothing. I was like, what?
It's been a minute since I watched The Walking Dead, and then
That's okay.
It's been even longer minutes since it wasn't boring me.
Yeah,
so
that's okay. All right, next up we have Zander. Anybody I know named Zander is just they're the worst. I don't know anybody named Zander, but I assume
in real life, same. I don't know anyone with that name.
But he was played by Patrick Muldoon. He looks like he was in Melrose Place, which makes sense to me. Doesn't he? Like, he looks like a soap opera actor, whatever. And then that's it. Let's see. Michael Ironside. Now, I know this guy from his first picture on his IMDb page, Total Recall. That's yes, he was in Total Recall. Yep.
See you at the potty, Richter.
Yep. He was in Total Recall. That's the first thing I've ever seen him in. He was in another movie called Scanners, which was amazing.
I'm going to blow this place sky high and be home in time for cornflakes.
See? Yep. See, I know you knew.
Classic. And he rips his fucking arms off on an elevator.
Yep. Let's see. Scanners. I watched the movie Scanners back in the 90s. It came out in the 80s, but it was on like a tape, like a videotape. And we always had videotape movies, and it's literally about, I think, reading people's minds and stuff like that, and making them do what you want, and like you can explode them and stuff. I don't remember him in that, but I remember the movie. He was also in Top Gun, which I only seen once. He was also Darkseid in Harley Quinn, the show that came out last year, and he was in Lego DC Supervillains Darkseid. Like, this guy, I've seen him in so many things, but I couldn't tell you what else I've seen him in. And now that I'm looking, I'm like, yeah, I don't remember any of this stuff. But either way, good for him. I like him. I think he's a good dude. Emperor Zahn, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the cartoon. Either way. Next up, Rue McClanahan. She was a biology teacher in the show.
I thought that was Sigourney Weaver.
You did, which I thought was weird, but I was like, okay.
I mean, like, whoever it was, they had like prosthetics on their face. So
she did. That's why you couldn't really tell who she was, but I loved it. I was like, oh, this is awesome. She's known for playing Blanche Devereaux in The Golden Girls. She was also in Maude, which I didn't know.
Never watched it.
So I think The Golden Girls was a spinoff of Maude.
Oh.
Because Maude, I knew that the lady who played Maude was the older chick in... What's the girl? Not Dorothy. She was the oldest, right?
B. Arthur.
B. Arthur. She was in Maude.
That's Dorothy.
She was in Golden Girls, and I thought it was a spinoff of Maude, but it was not. Maude was a spinoff of All in the Family.
Oh.
But then, after Golden Girls, there was a thing called Golden Palace, which was a spinoff of Golden Girls.
Oh, boy.
Yes. The Golden Palace was a...
Is that Don Cheadle?
That's Don Cheadle. I saw a clip of this a couple months ago. Blanche, young Rue McClanahan, she caused it Don Cheadle colored. And he goes, let me school you for a second. And it's a whole thing. Or maybe she doesn't do it, but a guest does, and then she allows it or something, but he kind of goes off on her. And then she apologized. She was like, I'm just a down south girl, blah, blah, blah. It's a whole thing.
Oh, Cheech Marin's in it, too, apparently.
Can't be sure. I don't know who that is.
Cheech?
No, I know who Cheech. I was looking at the little boy after Cheech, sorry. But either way, Rue McClanahan, great. She's cool. Let's see. Next up, we have... who did I want to talk about? I wanted to talk about somebody... Oh, Dean Norris. Dean Norris. He's a commanding officer. He was in Breaking Bad as Hank Schrader. He was also in Terminator 2. He was also in Total Recall. Did you know he's in Total Recall? I know. Now I know he was in Total Recall.
No, I don't know who he was.
He was the guy who tried to do something with the girl. I think he got beat up in the bar. He had the half a face, like he had the messed up eye or something. Remember when the little person came out and they first were in the bar? I think. And then I think does Arnold Schwarzenegger beat him up? But he's like the main guy in the bar. He's the main guy in the bar.
It's been a minute since I've seen it.
Damn it. I don't even know how to... But every time I see him, now that I remember it, yes, that was definitely him. He was also in Better Call Saul. I didn't know that. He's been on a lot of stuff, actually. He was in The Act. Oh, he was in The Act.
Yeah, he was the lumberjack guy.
That's right. I forgot about that.
Wasn't he?
I don't remember who he was, but I forgot he was in it.
Wasn't he the one that was like talking to Patricia Arquette's character? Wasn't he the one that's like talking to the mom?
I think you're right. Yes.
At like the con or whatever.
You are absolutely correct. Yes, that exactly was him. Yes. He was great. I loved him. It sucks that he died.
What?
Yeah.
He's dead?
Well, not in real life.
Oh, okay, that's what I thought you meant.
In
Breaking Bad. Oh yeah. Yeah, I thought you meant in real life he was dead. I was like, oh man.
This is all for play. This is all for play. Either way, next up. Who did I want to talk about? There was somebody else. As soon as I find him, I'm gonna know exactly who he is.
Is it Robert David Hall, the recruiting guy?
Robert David Hall. I remember where I remembered him from. CSI. He was Doc Robbins. He was the he's the guy who does the autopsy.
Okay.
He was the main or the chief medical examiner. Sorry, the guy who does the autopsy. Whatever, non-scientific terms. He was a medical officer the entire time on CSI. He was also a negotiator. He was a negotiator with Kevin Spacey and Samuel L. Jackson, and it was amazing. I love that show. I love that movie. It's a great movie. We should watch it sometime.
Which one?
The Negotiator. Good movie. Good fucking movie. Okay. The next one.
Ooh.
Amy Smart. She played Pilot Cadet Stack.
She's the one who we were both like, oh, I know her from somewhere.
I figured it out.
And she looks super familiar, but I don't think I've seen any of the things that she was in.
I've seen a lot of these movies. I've seen The Butterfly Effect. I've seen Road Trip. I've seen Just Friends.
I've seen Road Trip. I haven't seen that movie in forever.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. Because was that Scotty Doesn't Know?
I don't think so.
That wasn't Scotty Doesn't Know?
I don't know.
That was Euro Trip. Right?
Never saw that one.
Yeah, because whichever one it was, Matt Damon produced it, so he was in it as this singer. He was like a rock and roll singer. He was cheating with the main character's girlfriend, so he made a song about it called Scotty Doesn't Know. The guy's name was Scotty. And he was like, Scotty doesn't know that I have sex with his girl every night. Scotty doesn't know. And it was I saw this movie freshman year of college. My roommate, Scotty. He showed me the movie and he was like, yeah, here, this is it. And I was like, I love this.
Oh, she was in a movie with Batista.
Was she?
House of the Rising Sun, apparently. I was looking at her IMDb stuff.
Yeah. No, I think that's about it, actually. There's nobody else I can remember. Was there anybody else?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so either. But I mean, that's pretty much it. I mean, that's pretty much all that needs to be said. Just this movie. Let's get to some likes. How about that? Do you want to go first or you want me to go first? Because I can go first.
You go first. I know you love this movie.
I do love this movie. This movie's so good. Okay. I have a couple. First like. It's a trash B movie. That's it. That's it. Roll credits. End scene. I like this movie because, as serious as it is, I don't believe it takes itself serious. That's just me. Mm-hmm. I believe every time I watch this movie, I'm like, they know that this movie's trash. Mm-hmm. And it's not even that trash. But it's like they knew what was gonna, like, this movie should not have been trash.
They knew they were going to have 4 direct-to-home video release sequels.
After the fact. Like, I think they made this to be a cult classic. Like, here's the thing. I think, personally, they probably were like, okay, this is going to be a big budget. But also, though, it can't be.
You're not ready for this one yet.
Yeah, it's
kids are going to love it.
It's like, that's the thing. I don't want to call it trash because I love it. I love this movie. But it's like, it's good. And that's all I got. Mm-hmm. Next, the movie was ahead of its time. Couple ways. I personally think there's background to this movie that they don't talk about. This is why I don't think the movie is also trash, because there's a lot of stuff and it's so subtle, very subtle. First off, the way they do the movie, it's kind of like a computer game or like a learning tool.
Yeah, in some parts.
Because every time they're like, do you want to know more? Click.
I thought those parts were actually really cool.
Right.
I like those.
No, right. It's like, wait, what? What am I watching? Like, it's weird, but like, oh, okay, this is a take on it.
Yeah, there's like a mouse cursor. Yeah. You're like, oh, let's go click on this thing.
Yeah. And so that's one. 2, ahead of its time, they were playing football. Mm-hmm. Woman quarterback.
Yep.
Dizzy. She was killing it. I was like,
she was launching people.
Dude, she was kicking ass.
Granted, everybody was launking people, but she was launching people.
And she was definitely small. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, this is great. I love this movie. I'm going to say that a lot. How else? Okay, I think there's a backstory to this movie that I think, and I haven't seen the other movies, the sequels, or prequels if there are some, I don't know. I haven't seen them. But I kind of feel like there's a reason why Buenos Aires is a big deal. I don't know what it is. This is me speculating. But first off, they're in Buenos Aires. Why not the United States? Mm-hmm. They're in South America. They are in South America. And something when I read on IMDb, they are ran by a fascist government. I didn't even think of it that way. But their government is definitely fascist. So it said something like, what's the difference between a civilian and a citizen?
Yeah.
And they were like, if you join the service, that's your path to citizenship. And I was like, wait, so are these people not citizens?
Right.
Like, it's a whole thing.
I did hear that a couple times, and I was like, so do you not have rights if you're not in the military?
See? Yeah.
At some point?
And then a lot of people, when they were asking people like, hey, why'd you join the military? Nobody was like, because I want to fight. They all were just like...
Yeah, the one girl was like, so I can have a baby.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck?
She said that, and I didn't know if you caught that, but she was like, so I can get a license to have a baby. Again, that's a fascist government. But to have it, it's just kind of like China, right? Like, you can only have a baby if you're allowed to. And I was just like, whoa. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of things in there that are just... Because, like, it's Buenos Aires. These are Latin people. It's a Latin-speaking country. They're speaking English. They're literally, everybody's white. And
yeah,
it's south of the equator. Like, these people shouldn't look the way they look. And if you notice, like, for example, what's his name? Rico, he comes from a well-to-do family.
Yeah.
You know what I thought about? I don't know if you've ever seen this movie. I'm sure you haven't, but Platoon. Mm-hmm. So, it's a movie with the Green Goblin. I forget his name.
Willem
Dafoe. Charlie Sheen. There's like a ton of superstars in this movie. Mm-hmm. Charlie Sheen joins to go fight in Vietnam, but he's a rich kid. But he wants to get out on his own and do his own thing. So he joins to fight Vietnam. And literally, he gets like into a war zone. That's when I learned about like napalm and stuff like that. Like, it's a crazy movie. And then at the end of it, it's like, why did I do this? Like, basically, whatever. But it's a whole thing, but it's a great movie. I don't know if it's great, but it was cool when I watched it. I was surprised. I liked it. But either way, this movie, like I said, it's ahead of its time, just in that sense. Like, and then there's a lot of futuristic things that they don't really talk about. Mm-hmm. And that's what I love about the movie. I'm not talking about it. I'm just going to show you that this is what it is. They don't ever talk about psychic ability, and Neil Patrick Harris is a psychic. Yeah. And I'm like, they don't even talk about it. They're just like,
they're just like testing people for it.
Yeah.
And Rico's like, I guess I don't have it.
Yeah, I guess I don't have it.
He guessed the one card, and then it said it was wrong, which I never understand that part. He's like, I'm thinking the Ace of Spades. And they're like, on the screen behind him, the Ace of Spades come up, and it said, like, no match or something.
Were there two Ace of Spades?
No.
Because the one card was what Neil Patrick Harris was thinking.
Oh, okay.
And then the other card was what he was thinking.
Okay.
So he had to guess what Neil Patrick Harris was thinking.
Okay, so when he said Ace of Spades, that's what his card was.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So yeah.
Well,
so when it flipped over,
I'm an idiot.
No, it's fair. I get it. Again, they didn't explain it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I figured that out after a while. But yeah, so he had to guess. So they don't talk about him being psychic. Then at the end, they're like, you led me to her. Because remember, they were like, oh, there's a fork in the road. Which way should we go? He's like,
let's go this way.
We're going to go this way. Why? I don't know. We're just going to do it. And he goes, did you do that? It's classified.
Yeah.
What?
Because up till that point, he's like, oh, yeah. Let's just go this way. I was like, you just fucking said she was dead.
Yeah, you just said she was dead.
You called off the rescue party because you were like, you know as well as I do that she's dead. And like 2 seconds later, you're like, we should go save her.
We should go save her, right?
I thought she was dead.
You know she's down this way.
Yeah.
Like, it's a whole... I loved it. Another part that I forgot. Jake Busey playing a violin.
Yeah.
They don't talk about it.
No.
They don't talk about it. He played a violin in his bunk for whatever reason. And then later on, they're on the alien planet. They're like, hey, you guys want to have fun? Brought a violin. Oh, guess what? Jake Busey plays a violin. Yeah. I loved it.
It's like, here's a crate of kegs of beer. Here's another crate with footballs and a single violin. Mm-hmm. Hope somebody knows how to play this.
We do.
Yeah.
Deus Ex Machina.
I bring this to every alien planet that I invade.
Right.
And no one's been able to play it before. It's the damnedest thing.
It's the damnedest thing.
And he just starts playing. Was like Look Away Dixieland or some shit. It was some like
hillbilly shit.
Yeah, and everyone was dancing. And he just had the creepiest fucking look on his face as he's watching his new best friend dance with the girl that he had no feelings for up until like 30 seconds before this scene.
Facts.
So.
Yeah. Even to the point, well, because he got the advice from Rasczak.
Yeah, it's like, don't miss out on a good thing, kid.
Yeah. He's like, you're right. I need some.
He's like, yeah. I should bang her and then let her die.
That's absolutely fact.
We should let her die later after I...
Yes.
And she's like, no, we'll get there.
Loved it.
We'll get there.
Either way. Oh, yeah. That's, again, another great part.
Very fulfilling life.
I loved it.
I got to have you.
I loved it.
Don't let me go. I'm dead.
I loved it. This movie.
Oh, man.
It's amazing. Another part... Let me think about ahead of time. Oh, that's it. I'm just going to stop with that. Like, next one. I should have wrote this at the beginning of the film, and I did not, and that's my fault. So I apologize about that.
I know what it is.
Neil Patrick Harris.
Yep, I know what it was.
He's great. First time I saw him in this movie, I was like, oh, that's the guy from Doogie Howser. I used to watch Doogie Howser in the back of the day. Kid Doctor. Did you ever watch that show?
I think so. Was that the one where at the end of the episode he would like type like a little journal thing on his computer screen?
Yeah. He was so cool. I was like, yeah, I like that. Did not make me want to be a doctor, but yeah, I was like, yeah, I could. Next up, I'm reading verbatim. I never stopped smiling when I watched this movie. I was in heaven the entire fucking time. I was just like, yeah. All right. Rico, Dizzy. I love them too.
Rico,
I love them.
Suave.
And then Carmen, she's trash hair. But I just didn't like her. She's whatever.
I didn't really like her either.
Yeah, she wasn't the greatest. I'm going to break up with you over a video chat that everybody watches.
Yeah.
It's fucked up.
Everyone's like, oh.
Hey, can you give me a minute? I could have just said that.
And they did not.
Whoa, they did. They were like, oh. They walked away. But they were still like.
After his video chat to her, there's like bare asses.
Yeah, they were all naked and shit. I was like, oh. By the way, I forgot about the gratuitous nudity in this movie. And I was like, oh, yeah,
Same
that's right.
sex showers.
Yeah.
Or or not same-sex showers.
Yeah, no.
What? Am I having a stroke?
I don't know what you're trying to say, but there's unisex.
Yeah, unisex. I was like non-sex. No, that's not it either.
Because they had sex.
Yeah.
Yes, unisex showers. They all were taking showers right next to each other. Which, I mean, I guess in the Army, I guess you gotta do shit.
Saves time, I guess. I don't know.
But I was like, oh, okay, cool. But then they were just in there like talking and then slapping each other's asses. I was like, so again, another part of the movie that they don't talk about. They just were like, oh, you guys are all best friends now because you did boot camp for a day.
Yeah.
No, they don't talk about how much time has passed.
No.
They at the very beginning of the film, they show a scene, and then it says a year before, and then that's it. They don't ever talk about time again.
Yeah.
They don't say like, oh, it's been a year. You just see that scene again towards the end of the movie.
And I said that I was like,
yeah,
wait,
yeah,
because I saw the reporter guy later on. And it was like, oh. He's alive. Is he alive, or is he like I don't know, a robot or a clone or something? I was like, no, he can't be a robot because he gets dismembered.
Yes,
there's blood everywhere.
Yes,
and that cameraman is right in there because there's no zoom in the future.
Listen, journalism, you gotta get it.
He's like, I gotta get that shot, and takes a step toward the giant fucking monster alien bug. And guess who died next?
Loved it. Never stop smiling. I love it. Every single part of it. I like seeing the brain come out. I like seeing how they're arachnids, right? So they have, 8 appendages, I guess, or whatever. And then all of a sudden, they can fly.
Yeah.
And that's amazing. And I don't know if you noticed, they're different colors. The ones that can fly, the ones that are just like kind of like infantry. They're kind of like armies. That's the way it works in the animal world anyway, like ants. Then there's like an orange and black one. It looks like a tiger. Then there's beetles. Then they have little small bugs. The beetles spit fire, but they don't really spit fire.
It's like melting acid stuff or whatever.
Well, whatever they spit, I think was their blood, like when
ignites.
he shot into it. But there's a thing that they had on the front of their thing that ignited.
Yeah.
It was like, and I was like, wait, so they're lighters too? These are amazing.
Or they're the ones that like had basically like mortar cannons coming out of their butts, so they're like shooting the plasma blast into space.
That was a whole different bug.
Yeah, there was a
whole different bug. That was amazing. What else? And you got the big brain bug. Those were great.
They were just the little ones they were dissecting in biology class.
Yeah, that was a little bug. But they were pretty big. They were probably about 3 feet big.
Yeah, it's like little.
Yeah, little. Yeah, comparatively, because the monsters were monsters. Yeah, a little bit.
It's like the size of a small dog.
Yeah, or like a rabbit or a fox or something. Yeah. Because the way he held it up, it was kind of like he was holding it up by his ears, Rico, Dizzy, I've said all this before, but I'm going to say it again. Jake Busey, loved them. Neil Patrick Harris, loved them. Them get the tattoo scene, amazing. Let's see. The football scene, which I'm pretty sure that's the second time I've ever seen that scene. I literally catch it every time in the middle of the movie because I don't remember that scene that often. Football scene was great. The fight scene. Let's see. The scene where he's like, I'm going to pull a rank on you, Dizzy, while she's trying to flirt with him. Weird, but okay. And then at the end, all 3 friends come back together because they all lived in Buenos Aires with no tan. Fine. Loved it. Didn't stop smiling.
3 white friends from South America. Love it.
Same. Loved it. Amazing.
Why not?
Yeah,
it's the future.
The fact that, so then they are a fascist government. The fact that Neil Patrick Harris and all the leaders of the fucking thing look like Nazis. And then you had Dizzy, who looks like Cammy from Street Fighter, and then Neil Patrick Harris looks like Bison from Street Fighter.
Which was the movie we were going to watch instead of this at one point.
We were,
and then I was like, wait, which movie did we choose?
Yes. Loved it. Next up, as much as they didn't say, I thought the story and the plot was pretty consistent. They stuck on one linear path and they did not deviate. They kind of put in some things there, like the psychic thing, but they didn't make a big deal about it. They didn't have to explain it. You either got it or you don't, and they say that. You either got it or you don't. End of story. Hey, did you help me later? Classified. That's the best, like, okay, hey, we can't talk about it. And we're not, because it's classified.
But it means yes.
You don't know. You don't need to know. I'll tell you what you need to know. What you need to know, there's bugs, kill them. How do you kill them? They do a tutorial on that. You can shoot them in the brainstem. Actually, that's the first time that you see Neil Patrick Harris, is when he shoots the bug. When he's demonstrating it. He's
like after the beginning?
Yeah. Yep.
I forgot about that part. Yeah, he's like, you can shoot it in the leg, it still can get up.
So, so I didn't know he was in the beginning, so I saw him in the middle as like a kind of like a guest starring role.
Yeah,
I was
like
just
an after school special PSA type thing.
Yeah, like kind of like a what am I thinking of? Like just a cameo. Yeah. I was like, no, that's amazing.
Like, hey, I'm Christian Slater.
Yes, yes, it was just like that. And I was like, okay, that's cool.
You ever tasted a rainbow?
Yeah, and then he came in at the end. I'm like, oh, he was in his movie, so it was a cameo. And then I'm like, wait, he was in the movie the whole time? I'm like, this is amazing. I like how in a year everybody leveled up to like leadership of the government. Like they were in high school, then they all went in to learn how to do this stuff with the military, and Neil Patrick Harris is telling people who can be a colonel at the end of the movie. Carmen, she's flying the biggest ship in the fleet, and Rico is a fucking general or a colonel or a lieutenant. He was everything, honestly.
And Jake Busey is still a private.
And he was like, I don't want to do that anymore, which is fair, because he was like, I don't know. The gore in this movie, top notch.
I was liking it. People were getting cut in half, legs were flying off.
We saw somebody get shot in the face.
Heads were getting chopped off by those flying beetles. Yeah. That was great.
So good. Those are my likes.
Okay.
You, sir.
Okay. First, like, even though it didn't even happen until like a little bit into the movie, on one of those PSA things, who wants to hold my gun? All those fucking soldiers should just like hand these kids their gun, like, me. They're like, yeah, they get their fucking rifles, and they're like, here's a handful of bullets, like it's candy, on Halloween. Like, here you go, like fucking showering them with ammunition and bullets, and the kids are just like, yay.
I don't know if you saw, because you were laughing, but when you started laughing, I think you kind of looked away, and the kids all had their hand on the gun, and they were pulling it back and forth. They were just like tug of war.
Yeah, I don't think I saw that because I was writing this down.
There were like 7 kids' hands on that gun. I was like, that gun is about to go off.
Yeah, and the soldiers probably just like, yep.
They were laughing. They were like, ha, 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 ha. Oh my god.
Freeze frame laugh.
Oh, I love that.
Freeze frame high five. Yeah.
By the way, we freeze frame right there. That's why I went silent. Not editing that out.
I thought that part was hilarious. Some of the stuff during the basic training with what's his name, Zim, the drill sergeant. Who thinks they can knock me down? Well, I guess I think I can, sir. Breaks this big dumb country bumpkin. The big dude steps up to him, breaks his fucking arm.
Forearm.
And he's like, oh, I think my arm's broken. They show his arm. They don't show his bare arm, but like you see the sleeve of his uniform is like bulging out on his arm. He snapped that fucking dude's arm.
Oh yeah.
He's like, I think it's broken, sir. Oh, you fucking think so?
The best part, I think it's broken. Medic.
Yeah. And then Dizzy gets there, and she takes her fucking jacket off, and she's got her suspenders and her beret on, and she's like, all right, let's fucking fight. And we were both like, all right, when's the music start? Because it looks like Street Fighter movie. And she gave him a run for like a second. She gave him a run for it, and then he fucking floor sweeped her and put his knee on her throat so hard that in the next scene she had a bruise. In the shower scene, she had a bruise on her neck in the shower scene.
Because she passed out?
Yeah, he fucked her up.
Yeah, he did.
Also in the training scene, when they're practicing knife throwing that never came up again in the movie, unfortunately. They're throwing knives, and was it Jake Busey?
It was Jake
Yeah,
Busey.
he's like, well, what am I going to need to throw a knife for? And he's like, put your hand on that wall, private. And he just holds his hand up on the fucking wall. And I knew it was coming. Pulls the knife out of the thing, throws it up in the air, catches it, whips it right in his fucking hand. He's like, sticks him on the wall. If you disable, what does he say? Like, you disable their hand, or no? Because Jake Busey's like, oh well, you know what's all this knife? Good's all this knife throwing? Well, you just hit the button and nuke them. Throws a knife in his hand. He's like, you disable the hand, they cannot push the button. And I was like, I mean, I get it.
Also not true, but yes.
Yeah, like you got another one. You got another good one right over there. Maybe you couldn't reach it because you're too busy screaming about it. You could have pulled the fucking knife out of your own hand. Maybe, I don't know. But, he's got knife both hands to the wall. It would have been amazing. It's in the bone. It's in the bone.
I can say Ocha. Why haven't we done those? Ace Ventura.
We'll get there.
We should.
But the knife throwing scene was ridiculous, and I enjoyed it. Also during the basic training, Breckinridge,
yes.
the same guy who gets his fucking arm broken by the drill sergeant. Then later they're in the chow line. He's got like a blue like gel arm cast, and he was like, "Oh, I'm good now." Later in the training thing, they're like, "Okay, first live ammo." I almost said live action. First live ammo training you're gonna have. It's come up before tonight. He's like, first live ammo training you're gonna have, because prior to this it was like stun lasers, and why not just use fucking lasers all the time? Because those bullets were not always the most effective. But they're out there.
They were effective
on people. They're out there shooting these like pop-up fucking army men, green. First off, why are they practicing on human-shaped targets when their enemies are bugs?
Well, this time they're bugs. Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, I don't know.
Okay.
I'm just saying in general.
I guess it's what they had. Probably. Whatever.
Like, I mean, I guess that would be like our army. Like, hey, we're about to go to Vietnam. You're Vietnam. So, which they probably did. Now that I say it, shit, they probably did. It was probably problematic as fuck. Either way.
I don't want to think about what those look like.
I was just going to say, like, it was probably problematic as shit. Yeah. I can't even. So, okay.
Yeah, like they're shooting at those dummies, and the big dumb kid is like, "Oh, my helmet's, Rico, my helmet's wrong. It doesn't. There's something going on with it." And he's like, "Well, what's going on?" He's like, "I don't know. You better take it off. Let's check it out." I blinked for a second, and dude gets shot in the fucking head by one of his own people. Was it Rico or was it somebody else?
It was the black girl.
You're like, did he like slip and fall in front of her, or like did he get pushed, or she just like pop?
So what happened was Dizzy was aiming for the green figure.
Yeah.
And he gets in her eyesight.
And
she's
like, clear my line of fire.
I could have shot you, blah, blah. He's like, oh, I can't see because my helmet's too big. And then they take his helmet off. It's like, why is it too big? I don't know. That's all they had. And then
he says, I don't know, I'm big and dumb.
Yeah, he did say I'm big and dumb.
He says, I'm big and dumb. And his last fucking words before he gets his head blown off.
And because they're trying to win, everybody else is like, come on, put your helmet back on. Let's just win this thing. Dizzy goes to shoot because I think the targets are still shooting at them. I think they're shooting.
Yeah, the targets
lasers.
had like the stun lasers.
They still had the lasers. So it shoots at them, and Dizzy tries to move out of the way, pushes the black girl down, I don't know her name, pushes her down. She falls, and hands still on the trigger because, of course, they don't teach trigger discipline. She shoots this guy in the fucking face.
Blows his fucking brains out.
Literally.
Amazing.
That's why when he was like, they were disciplining him, she looks through the thing, and they show her walking down Washout Lane because she was the one who was shooting.
I just thought that was amazing. Just because the dude got his fucking brains blown out.
You did not expect
I
it.
did.
You were like,
I totally did. I was like, wow. Also, that poor fucking guy gets into basic, gets his arm broken, gets made a fucking idiot from in front of everybody, and then his last words are, I guess I'm big and dumb. That's his fucking brains blown out.
Easy.
Sad sack motherfucker.
Sucks to suck.
Next, like, Rasczak, or however the fuck you say his name.
He was great.
He's the teacher at the beginning, and I was like, okay, this is just like Rico's motivation for joining the army, because Rico can't fucking make a decision on his own without being motivated by
somebody, sex,
or his teacher, who is, I guess, a charismatic war hero, which we find out later in the movie, because at first he's just a teacher who's got, like, he's missing part of his arm.
Yeah.
And he talks
about using it to do everything, by the way.
Tapping people on the shoulder. It's like, hey, pay attention. Pop you in the arm with it. Hey, why are you looking? Later in the movie, shows up with his fucking gauntlet metal arm. Was it like from Inspector Gadget? Dr. Claw? It's like this fucking metal arm. Yeah. And it was pretty awesome because Rico was I thought Rico died.
Yes.
At that scene, and I was happy because I didn't like Rico. I was happy. Because I even said to you, I was like, is Rico dead? And you were like, yeah. And I was like, all right. And then you were like, and then you fucking fooled me because I was like, 2 seconds later, he's in like a Bacta tank in space, green Gatorade aquarium floating around. I was like, you lied to me. And you're like, haha, gotcha.
I did, because I didn't want to ruin it. That was
I appreciate
spoiler alert, Rico's not dead.
Yeah, I was like, who's the new main character? Is it Jake Busey? And you're like, no.
And then when Dizzy died, you're like, is she dead? I'm like, oh, is she gone?
Yeah.
She gone.
Because everybody, at a certain point, people just started dropping.
I mean, it's a war, baby.
Like, a lot of nameless people started doing a lot of nameless people started dropping, but then, like, Dizzy died, and Kitten died, and
Watkins died.
Breckinridge Rasczak died.
Yeah.
Everybody started fucking dropping.
Everybody died.
But I thought Rasczak was kind of cool in the military aspect of it, I guess. He seemed like he was kind of a badass because he was like, okay, everybody fights, nobody quits, and it was like, if you can't do it, if you can't do the job, I'll shoot you myself.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, that's some nice talk. And then that dude gets snatched up by that fucking flying beetle, and it's killing him. And he grabs, he's like, give me your gun. Grabs that dude's sniper rifle, points it at the beetle, and then lowers it at the guy and just fucking shoots him right through the chest. And I was like, oh, this is a man of action. Got it.
Facts. I mean, I don't know. Oh, shit. What the fuck was I going to say? I think I was going to say, I also think that that's the way a lot of people do it. I've seen it. This is just in movies, but I think like it happens in real life. Like, don't let me suffer. Put me out of my misery. And blah, blah. And I'm like, well, that's fair.
Because there was a lot of people suffering in this movie.
Yeah, they were suffering bad. Especially when they came back from the first battle and fucking Carmen found out that Rico died. Wink.
Yeah.
And she comes through and like everybody's like, it's war torn. Everybody's dying. There's blood everywhere. And there's a guy, he has like one arm and one leg, and he's like grabbing at the guy to help him. And I'm like, dude, yeah.
Yeah. And it makes sense because in the ratio of numbers, she's like, I can't believe there's almost no wounded. And she's looking at like the millions of people that died, but she's in a room surrounded by people that are just fucking maimed. Yeah. Like she says, and a dude walks by and he just has blood covering his face. Yeah. And there's a guy who has like nothing from the knee down, just like a bloody stump. And he's like, die.
Facts.
And I was like, oh, well, maybe save that sentiment for when you're out of the terminal fucking injury ward of the prison camp, military camp.
Yes.
But, you know, whatever. But yeah, numbers-wise, yes. Compared to like the millions of people that died, yes, a room full of injured people is small potatoes. But yeah, there are people getting shredded in this fucking movie. And Rasczak was like, you know what? Not on my watch.
Yeah.
And if you get stuck, I'm going to shoot you. And then and I thought that was a pretty cool scene overall, where they're in that little base, and they find out that they've been tricked. Like, because the bugs are intelligent and have been, and they're like tricking everybody and thinking they're dumb, which is how I like to get by. Also, I like people to think I'm dumb, and then I surprise them.
I've tried that, and then
I surprise them.
Guess who really gets tricked?
And they're like, guess what? I've actually been dumb the whole time. There's no surprise. I'm just dumb.
I'm like, I got this.
I'm just an idiot.
Shit. I fucked up again.
I'm like, oh no, don't worry about him. He's dumb. And I was like, oh shit, it's working too good. They know it. But they figure out that the bugs have been tricking them, that they've been tricked, and they open up the fucking freezer, and that guy stumbles out. And he's like, oh my god, you saved me, you're heroes. I'm like, okay, we probably maybe couldn't get out, maybe he could, I don't know, maybe just waiting to hear people on the other side. And they open up the door and he stumbles out. I was like, oh, we're out there, everybody's dead, the bugs got him. And they're like, what's going on? And he's hysterical, he's having hysterics, and he's cold. And he walks out of the tent that had the freezer in it. He's like, we're all going to die. We're all going to die.
Oh, my God.
Oh, game over,
just
man.
Shoot me now.
Yeah, he's like, kill me now. Kill me now. And I'm like, what? This guy's...
But Rasczak was about to do it.
Yeah, he's about to do it. And then they're like...
Don't do it. He's just out of his mind.
Yeah, like, don't do it. We're going to need those bullets in a second. Because they get surrounded.
Also fair.
And then, like, the flying bugs are fucking coming in, and the big, like, acid melting your face beetle comes up out of the ground.
Dizzy.
But not before it makes, like, that quicksand pit, and Rasczak falls in legs first. And he's like, and they pull him out, and those legs are gone. And he's like, you know what to do. And he shoots him right in the chest.
I mean, where else would you shoot him?
In the head? I don't know.
I guess that's fair.
He shot him, like, right in the middle of his chest.
I don't think it mattered.
Yeah, I didn't.
But he also shot the guy in the middle of his chest, too.
Yeah, but that left, like, a giant gaping hole.
Yeah, fair.
And he was like, pop! And then he died anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Pop what?
Pop
what?
I don't know what he's trying to say. He shoots Rasczak and he dies, and Rasczak's Roughnecks become Rico's Roughnecks.
Rico's Roughnecks.
And they're like, all right, that's going to be the extent of the casualties, you would think, because Carmen's on her way to save everybody in the ship, and the beetle, you know, after eating Rasczak's legs, comes up out of the ground, and he's just like, fuck this, and throws a tight spiral grenade right into its fucking mouth, blows its head off, and
celebrates.
Takes the time for a slow-mo, like, woo! She's like, whoa! And then, like, Breakfast Club poses in front of it, like, don't you forget about me. He puts that hand up, and they didn't forget about her, because fucking bugs come up right behind her, sticks her right through the chest, like, the chest and shoulder area.
They get her, like, 4 times.
Gets her, it's like, gets her, and, like, they shoot it while it's still stabbing her. Rip the thing out of her and like, we're gonna save you, and it's clear she's not gonna make it. They're like, we'll bring you with us,
listen,
so you can die in my arms and you can tell me that you had a good life because you got to have sex with Rico.
It's all anybody ever wants.
That poor fucking woman.
That's all us girls. That's all we want. That just Rico woman. One time.
I mean, Rico did have a jawline you could cut a roast with.
Listen,
but he wasn't worth it, in my opinion.
Fair.
He'll get his chance in the ring later. And I'll leave it my final like. I liked it when I thought Rico was dead. Because I think he's a tool. For me.
That's fair.
And then they pulled the wool over my eyes, you included.
Yoink.
And you tricked me and you pulled the wool off of my eyes and pulled the rug out from under me. And I was disappointed. But
good. Rico is the man.
Anyway, those are my likes. Let's get to your dislikes.
Dislikes?
Yes.
I'll let you go first.
Okay. Rico.
Let's just finish right where we stopped.
Oh, yeah. No, I thought Rico was kind of a douche. Because he was like, I'm a spoiled rich kid. Cool. My teacher propagandized me in school to make me think that I have to join the military. Great. Also, it's also because my girlfriend's going to join the military and I love her and I don't want to be apart from her. But then she meets another guy and now I'm like doubly going to join it because he's also joining and they're going to go together and I'm going to be left behind. And I don't want her to break up with me, but it happens anyway. And I've got, this girl who's like holding the torch for me apparently forever, and he never just turns her down. He's never just like, nah. He's always just straight up like, I'm in love with her. But
he turns her down.
Oh, does he?
When she joins the army infantry, mm-hmm. She joins that whatever as well, and they're sitting there. They're going through the mess line, and she goes, "Hey, can I sit with you?" He's like, "Can you stop following me? I don't want to be with you." Blah blah blah. And she's like, "Oh." And then that's when they go to the shower scene, and she's like,
"Yeah,
are you the girl?" She's like,
"I might be, bitch. I might be,
bitch. I might be."
And then okay, so that did happen, but then Rasczak again gets in his ear. He's like, "Hey, man, you could bang her."
That's wrong.
but it's accurate. Because as soon as he said, you don't miss out on a good thing, what does he do? He bangs her. And then she says, "I love you." And I don't think he said it back to her. She's like, "I love you." And he's like, "We got 20 minutes. Come here a minute."
And she was okay with
Yeah,
that.
and she was fine with it.
Boom.
And that's fine, I guess, if you don't respect yourself enough.
Absolutely.
And then the fact that he completed her life by allowing her to have sex with him when he was sad because his girlfriend dumped him.
Was he sad anymore?
I don't know. I don't think he was sad when he was having sex with her because he was, because his teacher / commanding officer told him it was okay to.
I don't think he was sad anymore because he had talked to her after the fact.
Yeah, they decided to be friends.
Well, no. Not before Dizzy died. They were,
I thought that the three of them met up before the end of the movie.
No.
I thought they were like together at the beginning and then like toward the middle-ish and then again at the end when they're like...
Yeah, but they were friends. They were, excuse me. They weren't friends. They were like, she was like, oh, hey, Carmen. And then he's like, what do you want? Well, I don't want to be friends with you. She was like, hey, I thought this was for the best. He's like, yeah, this is for the best too. Like, this was when they fought. Like, this was after Buenos Aires got blown up. And she was trying to be friends with him. She's like, we're the only ones left. Well, I'm happy to be alive.
Was that the part when he tried to fight Zander?
Yes.
Or they did fight Zander
Yes.
and he like fucking suplexed him onto a table?
Yup. That's when he started like, okay, Dizzy's, for like Dwight, Dizzy's got kind of a nice butt. Like, I think that's when it was, but he was still kind of trying to play it cool because Dizzy was all over him, which personally I think Dizzy looked better than Carmen, but that's just me. But yeah, and then, yeah, it worked out. It worked out like it should have.
It worked out for some people.
Yeah, Dizzy died.
Yeah, it didn't work out for Dizzy.
Well, it did though.
And then Zander died.
She
got to have her life complete by getting to bang Rico and his magic penis.
Sometimes that's what you look forward to.
And then Zander.
Look at Kelly. So
This is what Zander died.
Yeah.
So Carmen was unattached at that point.
Yeah.
Dizzy died, so Rico was unattached at that point. And Neil Patrick Harris was a non-factor psychic Nazi.
Kind of.
So they probably end. I'm gonna guess at some point that they might bang in the next 5 movies. Except I don't think either of them are in the same movie again after that. But I just didn't care for Rico. I thought it was kind of a tool.
That's fair.
He seemed like he's someone who didn't let himself make his own decisions.
Fair.
And I didn't like that.
Fair.
I thought he was a douche. Yeah. I was gonna say I disliked the ending, but I didn't mind it, honestly.
Okay.
Because I wrote it down, and then the more I've thought about it since we've just been talking about it, I was like, no. Also seeing the fact that they made like 5 of these movies, the fact that like they couldn't have like wrapped it up at that point. Like, oh, we captured their big brain bug. We win!
Yeah, no.
No, that's not how it works.
That's not how it works.
Because I'm guessing because I guess, because you said you haven't seen the rest of them either.
Nope.
I'm wondering if there's like some kind of big queen bug that they have to kill at some point.
Oh, yeah.
But when that might be cool. But it's probably going to have to cut through a lot of shit to get through that.
There it is.
And I'm just going to guess maybe the 5th one ends on a cliffhanger fucking too. Because isn't there, you said there's like an animated series and or like an animated movie or some shit also out there. There's a lot of stuff.
Here's one thing. Excuse me. I don't think it's a cliffhanger at the end. Because they're like, I see how it could be a cliffhanger, but to me it wrapped it up. Like they caught the brain, they didn't think there was a brain, then they started probing the brain, literally, and then they were just like, yeah, join the army, and this is blah blah. Like I could see where they were like, we're setting up for more.
Yeah.
If this is a big blockbuster, or if it's not, we're setting up for a lot of B movies.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, after I watched it, I was like, I'm satisfied.
Yeah, because that's when I wrote it down. I was like, I didn't like it, and then just like thinking about it more, I was like, no, it kind of was okay because there wasn't a way that they were going to be like, okay, and then they won.
Yeah, because I don't see.
Point.
Yeah, just because they captured the brain, the bugs are still alive. Blah blah.
Because it showed them like testing on it.
Yeah.
And they're like, here's where everybody's going, and you too could be in the military.
Yeah.
And all this other shit. And I was like, oh, okay, I can see it. Yeah, this is a fine way to end it, honestly.
Yeah, and then for me, I was looking at it like I was like, okay, there could be more, but in real life, war doesn't end just because you captured, whatever. Like, back in the day, Bin Laden died, but that doesn't mean people still ain't trying to fuck with people. You know what I mean? So that's how...
It doesn't mean there's not oil over there anymore.
Oh, well. Exactly. Either way.
That's my dislike, since
Facts.
anything is not a dislike. My dislike is Rico.
Okay. My dislikes?
Yeah.
0. I have no dislikes. This is the perfect movie.
Oh my!
It is the best movie. One of my favorites. May or may not be my favorite. Unfortunately, I gravitate to movies that I've seen more often.
Okay.
I don't get to see a lot of Starship Troopers a lot, but when it's on and I watch it, I love it. So now that it has been bought in. I will be watching it. Well, I probably won't watch it more, but I'll watch it when I want to watch it. But I usually gravitate to movies that I've seen more recent. Or like this movie, I just forgot how good it was. It was good. Acting, superb. Action, superb. CGI, superb.
Yeah, that's another thing. Like, for the time, like, the CG wasn't that bad.
It really wasn't.
It wasn't bad.
There were a couple things where I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Like the fire, I was like, oh, okay, that's not real. But I don't care. Because I've seen worse.
Because, there wasn't a point in the movie where I saw that and I was like, oh, that effect looks like shit.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay.
Suicide Squad exists. I've seen worse.
Yeah, I was like, oh, they had computers in the 90s. They did what they could.
Factuals.
I've seen worse.
Star Wars exists. Like, there's so many things that could be worse. And I'm okay with it. And so for me, no dislikes.
Nice.
Slushie Meter. I'll let you go.
I'm going to give it a 3.75.
Wow. Really?
What?
Tell me why.
Because I can't give it a 4 for some reason. I did like it. And I couldn't just give it a 3. It was a pretty decent sci-fi movie.
Fair. That's a fair assessment.
Yeah. And it also, like, there's no nostalgia factor for me because I never, this is the first time I've ever seen this movie.
Yes.
So, like other people on the podcast, nostalgia often plays a big part in my enjoyment of things. So, like, I didn't have that. So,
fair.
If I had that, I might have given it a little more, like a boost. It might have gotten up to a 4 for me.
That's fair.
But I didn't, like, grow up on it. It wasn't a big part for, like, a big thing in me life.
I kind of feel like if you saw this before, I don't think you would have liked it.
No?
I don't know.
At all?
Maybe, but I don't think it would have been like, oh, I'm going to watch this again.
That's fair. I don't know.
But like now,
I'm a mystery sometimes.
It's fair.
I can be very predictable, or I can even surprise myself with how dumb I can be.
That's also fair. Okay, well, if that's the case, yeah, I'm gonna go 4.5 actually.
What? Okay, now that does. I thought you were gonna give it a 5.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 5. Let's just go with a 5.
Perfect movie.
It's kind of like a Rico
4.5. See, Rico was dead at a 5, and then you.
Even better. When Rico died, it was like a 2, and then he came. I was like, yes. Please and thank you. Honestly, every time I watch it, here's the thing. What do I expect from movies? I expect to be entertained.
Yeah.
There wasn't really a boring part in this movie because it moved so fast. And it was 2 hours long. Honestly, a different movie we watched seemed a lot longer than this one. Like the movie we watched beforehand. Like, it seemed, and that movie was 1 hour and 40 minutes. This movie was 2 hours long. And, like, you really couldn't, to me, I couldn't tell. And, like, there were so many, even the talking parts, super quick. Because it's like, this is an action movie, not a talking movie. I didn't know I thought this was a watching party, not a talking party. And, like, that's honestly how I feel. Like, I am easily entertained when I want to be. And every time I watch Starship Troopers, I'm like, I know what I'm in for. So my expectations for this movie, I'm not Martin Scorsese. I want to be entertained. I don't need to think all the time.
You want content.
Yes, I just want to be entertained. Like, why do I don't need to, first off, just like in a Martin Scorsese flicks, everybody dies. First off, there's gun battles everywhere. Like, Martin Scorsese isn't directing, like...
He should try a comedy.
All his movies are funny. Fuck them.
Anyway,
I don't know. Funny to me. They're not, but
not on purpose, I'm guessing.
No, they're fine. Like I said, I liked the Goodfellas. That was pretty good. I liked Casino. I think he did Casino. Casino was great, honestly, with Robert De Niro. It was a good movie.
Is he in most of his movies, though?
Honestly, I think he is, because he did Taxi Driver. I think he did Red Bull, Raging Bull. I think, honestly, I really don't know.
Sometimes the guys just got to ride the bull,
You know? But, yeah, I don't know. My expectations for this movie, when I first saw it, I was like, this is amazing. Second time I saw it, I was like, yeah, more please. And then, like, every time I saw it after that, I was just like, what am I missing? Why don't people like this? When I would tell people, like, dude, Starship Troopers is shit, and they're like, no. And I'm like, what am I missing? Tell me why I shouldn't like this movie. You got to give me more reasons, because if at the time, it came out in 97, I don't know when I saw it, but even at the time, it's like, special effects, where? These are good for the time.
Yeah.
Okay. Actors, because I don't know them, I'm supposed to be upset about it? No.
But there's like some smaller actors that since then we've come to know in other things.
Yeah. But like even then, and when I first saw it, I was like, okay, I knew who Denise Richards was. And Denise Richards kind of gave legitimacy to this. Then who else? Then Neil Patrick Harris also. Jake Busey, just because of who his dad was. Like, I knew, I when I watched it, I was like, okay, I can deal with this. I like this movie. So honestly, for me, it might not be a perfect movie for some, but for me, it's entertaining. Like I said, the talking parts in the beginning, they're still okay. Like, I can skip the beginning because I've skipped it before. So I don't want to say it like it's whatever. It's not, I like it. It's a 5. And that's it.
Nice.
Yeah.
I gotta start giving out more 5s, I feel.
Yeah. Do you. Hey, if you don't want to like things... No, I'm just fine. No, you're
Get
good.
the hell out.
Get
Maybe I'll see if I can get a hand for my brother. Get out. Get the fuck out of my room! Oh my god!
Either way. Okay, so, with that being said, that has been Starship Troopers. We have a ton of movies coming out in the next coming weeks. When will this air? The audience asks. Who's in the audience?
The audience is in the audience.
Fair. So this will air when it airs. What's going to be next? We don't know.
It's a mystery. Even we don't know, so why should you get to know?
We don't know, actually. But...
I look like a guy with a plan.
Same. It won't be the Joker. We know that. But either way, guys, that's my Starship Troopers. Make sure to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, all the likes, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all the things. Oh, and YouTube. I always forget about YouTube. And then subscribe to our Patreon. If maybe I'll have it up and running. Slushie Review. Patreon.com/Slushie Review. I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. You can send money to my Cash App. I don't know it either. But search it and figure it out. I have nothing.
Why not?
I have nothing.
You got the internet. Figure it out.
Yeah. Search me. Google me, bitch. No, I'm just fine. So I don't mean to call you bitches. Anyway, so I'm off the rails at this point. But either way, this has been Keith.
And Chris.
And we'll see you next time.